Look, welcome to another episode of Real Talk for an Unreal World. I'm just kidding. I'm still doing a Facebook Live as well as I do an episode for my channel because I'm trying to build a community. And if you're watching this Facebook Live, Real Talk for an Unreal World is my YouTube channel, and I'm kind of just like building something right here with the amount of groups that I'm in and easily shareable content into much more people, just until I can build this YouTube channel up. So my YouTube channel is Real Talk for an Unreal World. And today I was going to talk about the environment and my love for the environment, because it's a conversation we need to have these days with COVID. I truly think that it's just the amount of garbage and that's being placed by us, and what we can do or what nature can do for us is a conversation that we need to have. But I had a few appointments today, and I'm very honest about my journey and the things that I'm doing. I do always promote self-love and self-care in a real honest way, an authentic way, to yourself, to your core being. Like if your teeth are bad, or this vessel that you're in for this physical life should be definitely cared for. And it took me a long time to realize that. If this is the first time you're seeing this on YouTube, for 20 years I was a heroin addict. Yeah, went to jail. Yeah. It's still very difficult and odd for me to say that out loud, but I'm cool with it. I'm comfortable with it now because I understand my purpose. I understand my lessons, and I understand that everything that was heavy for me that I went through was to share as my experience, so we can share individually experiences and journeys, so we can learn from each other. So at one point where I maybe was a little self-conscious about that, I'm not anymore, because the people that love me know me, and they know it's cool. So they know that who I am and what I am. I did bad things, but I was never a bad person. And basically today, what I wanted to do this video about was just that. I'm a drug addict. I'm a convict. At one point in my life, I possibly had mental health going on in the terms of just, addiction. Just being controlled by an outside entity rather than looking inside. I let the outside control me, so I can be cool with that today. And because I remedied that that ailment, I am the person I am today because the lesson was learned. So the what this video is about today is just about looking at an addict. I'm one. Looking at a convict, I'm one. I never hurt people, but I did bad things, which emotionally, could have affected people, which is not cool. So I can admit that today. But I'm not a bad person. And today I went to a bunch of appointments, and I was very honest about my journey, because I just went for some physio and some chiropractors, things like this, just to fix myself up from riding in cars too much and sleeping in places that weren't very comfortable. So I just tried to fix myself. But in telling my story, many people said, they're like, wow, you're a good dude, you're a good person. And I said, yeah, I appreciate that, and I really do, because 20 years heavy IV use, as first time I kind of said that, but yeah, definitely that's an honest truth. I'm very, very fortunate to be where I am today. I was given a gift a year ago. I just had my 1 year a couple days ago. For me, I was given a gift. Really I was, because I do a lot of I try and spend my time in East Hastings as much as I can. These days I've been just crowded with a lot of outside world things that are going on, because I'm trying to help a whole bunch of people. And to do that, this world dictates finance. So I'm trying to amalgamate something so I can help a lot of people around the world. So my time has been pulled away from East Hastings a little bit more. But when I am down there, I certainly do just share my story and try and help people to see that you can come out of it. You really can. You really can come out of it, and you can do something great with your life. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just to share, because I think that there's a lot of stigma around mental health, being an ex-convict and drug addiction. A lot of stigma around that. And I just want people to see me, see one, and I'm cool with that. I got big shoulders. I don't care about judgment and things like this. Very honest, authentic. I live by that. I didn't always, but I do now. And I think it's beneficial to share about that, because it doesn't matter the journey, man. Your road is your road. It's just what you go down on it, right? The destination is the same for all of us. We're all generating a story. So whether or not you had to learn the difficulties that some do, sort of with these ideologies or not ideologies, but like these sort of characteristics maybe that I've talked about, being a drug addict, a mental health patient, or a convict, it doesn't matter. The one journey is not worse than another journey. That's not what this is about. We're all on a journey. We're all life lessons is there so we can gain awareness and experience. And I believe it's intended to be shared. I think that that's really what we're supposed to be doing. So if I went through everything I went through, I was given a gift a year ago, I made it through. I'm sure I can enjoy my life with love and with individuals these days, independently. I could do that. And to me, I've thought about it, but there's something inside of me that says I can't. Because a gift is intended to be shared. And me being free and having a voice, and one that I use, is certainly something that I need to do. I'm just compelled to do it. I'm really just compelled to do it, because I think that the conversations that are had in the world these days are just so materialistic or judgmental. They're just for someone else. Like, to think that you look down on someone, I mean, we just being jaded in a sense, because of the experiences we've had in life, and not just looking at individuals as individuals, really makes me want to do this, because I think if I share this, then maybe my hope is that one day maybe someone out in the world will take a second look at somebody. Because I was one of those kids on the street for a little while, I was one of those kids that was wearing the same clothes for way too long, and was one of those kids that wasn't happy. I was pretty sad, I believe mental health is a real thing, but I think that emotional health is certainly a conversation we should be having. Grouping everything, all individual problems of a person under one umbrella of mental health is just not right. I mean, I think that for me it was emotional health. I didn't understand my emotions, which led me to try and have a conversation, but in North America we don't talk about emotions. We're taught to bury them, and that's a very real thing. And if that's going on for you, look, I appreciate it. I mean, I know I'm 37, 90s kid, whatever. Like, if you're on that same wavelength, it doesn't even matter. It's very relevant for today as well. Probably more relevant, if anything, because you can bury yourself in, TikTok, YouTube videos, Instagram. There's so much shit these days to take your attention away from yourself that it's probably worse today than it was for when I was a kid. But for me, I didn't really do well with emotions. I'm an empath, and yeah, I felt differently than most, and I couldn't understand why I couldn't grasp this control over myself. And it was because I needed to be taught more about it, but the parents that I chose to come into this world with, they didn't know nothing about it. There's mental health in my family as well, and everyone's sort of on a journey, and they're kind of doing their own thing, right? And as parents, you want the best for your children, but sometimes we don't understand because we don't communicate. So for me, that was a real thing. And once I found drugs, I found a way to numb myself. And I'm a Scorpio, so I'm a water sign. Tears are a real thing. And, whether they come when they're happy, sad, mad, didn't really matter for me. It was just that way. I do understand a lot now because I've taught myself about astrology. I've taught myself about who I am through astrology, because I believe that there's a real connection there, a real connection with astrology. If you don't know much about your sign, quit reading horoscopes, you know, horoscope, man, whatever. You know, just live each day in the present moment. Don't worry about what someone's trying to tell you about it. You want to learn about who you are fundamentally, your characteristics, your personality, your core being. It's amazing that where the sun was when you were born on that day, at that time, can tell you about yourself. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just search up your sun sign. I would urge you to do that. And my mother always kept me in tune with me being a Scorpio. But it was very much from somewhat of a horoscope perspective. Not so much like who I was, what I was, I guess. 12 archetypes, and it's just, I guess you could say a coincidence, but there's no such thing as coincidences, so I ain't saying that. That there's also 12 archetypes. So I believe there's a relationship, and if you can do some homework for yourself, that would be really great, because if you don't know who you be, check with your sun sign. It's a wonderful place to look. And then you'll check your big three: sun, moon, ascendant. Just check it. You know, it's nothing if you're sitting around doing nothing. I mean, why not learn about yourself? I don't wish for anything but, you know, to have those sort of education when I was younger would have helped me maybe on a different journey. But I understand my path, and I understand my road, and why I learned the difficult lessons that I did. It's so I can share. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful, you know, I guess, for this life and everything that it entails for me, because it was very difficult. My 20 years was hard, really hard. It was difficult to look over your shoulder and watch someone else make moves. You know, it felt like someone else make moves in your own body. It's weird. It's not normal. So I tried to just grow from that the best I could. In that moment, you know, thinking back on things, like I certainly know all about loss with the road that I had to travel. I 3 kids, 2 with one girl, 1 with another girl. My little guy's 5. You know, I didn't see him since he was 3, and he was like my best friend. So when you lose love, they say, as an alchemist, you sort of have an understanding of loss. And because materialistic shit is just materialistic shit. I believe that this life is for to really try and not be a part of a materialistic life, because if you can see from within, and you can connect, and we can connect, like that's the main thing, we can connect within without looking out. It's a beautiful thing. It's just a beautiful thing. So maybe checking into astrology will help you with that. I don't know. I wish someone would have told me that when I was a kid, you know. I just go on what I know these days, you know. And anyone that, even if it affects one person, I mean, I'm happy. You know, I'm just happy, you know, because I think that sharing can hopefully gain perspective for somebody. And for me today, I just really wanted people to take another look at what people's journeys look like, because you're looking at one. You know, where society said I should not be nothing, I shouldn't be a part of anything, and I shouldn't be accepted. I had to accept myself. I certainly did. But I didn't really have the mental health traumas, emotional traumas. My childhood was really, really well. It was great. It was amazing. I have wonderful parents. I'm very fortunate for that. It was just the emotional struggle inside that I really couldn't deal with. So for me, I was alleviated from that once I lived by authenticity, honesty, and love. And that set me free. I know for other people it's difficult. We're all on our own individual journey. I think the real problem is that we group shit together. You know, we're real good at that as humans, like putting things in groups. And I don't know if it was our idea to do that or a greater idea to group us into little groups, which are getting much, much larger. Like, I mean, you look at mental health, like, Jesus, what constitutes mental health these days is insane. It's way too big, and there's no funding for it. So when you look at something like mental health, and it encompasses such a wide umbrella, and there's no funding for this, makes me think, you know, what, an hour of therapy, an hour of counseling a week for, you know, maybe 4 times a month is going to help someone? What are you, nuts? It takes a lifetime or many, many years to create this sort of emotional trauma. And it's just a reality. So how we could ever possibly conceive that $200 an hour and an hour a week with therapists that are just completely overbooked is going to help an individual. They're looking at the clock for 40 of those minutes and trying to spout some bullshit, not even taking in your story, your journey. You know what I mean? That's a problem. That's a real problem. So this place here is sort of to build a community that we can. I realize entities are too big, and anytime a human falls through it cracks, it's just unacceptable to me. I truly believe that. I think you know, when, and most all, a child, and I believe we're all children, but you know, when a child falls through the cracks, the entities are just too big. And you look at mental health today with kids, it's becoming normal. Like, what are you, nuts? That's not mental health, that's emotional health. That's just parents being too busy because they're distracted up here perpetuating money when the things that are priceless are in the home. And I was one of those priceless things in the home. And my parents worked really, really, really hard to give us everything materialistic, you know? And we had it. And we had lots of love. Don't get me wrong. My parents are amazing. I'm born to an angel. Absolutely. Like, I'm the first to admit it. My dad teaches me so much as well. Like, I have really, really great parents. But, you know, sometimes what we forget is that everything that's priceless is on the inside. And I learned that. And I had to deviate from my parents' teachings because they couldn't teach me that. And then I tried to teach myself, and it just led to so many bad choices. So if you've got a kid that's addicted to drugs, maybe in jail, or has mental health or emotional traumas or something like this, don't beat yourself up too much, you know? Sometimes the lessons you guys try to teach us, you're not the teacher. And, you know, if communication is the biggest thing, I'm going to say that. Communication is the biggest thing for the struggling child within all of us. And I don't care if that's anxiety, I don't care if that's fear, I don't care if that's addiction, whatever it is. Communication is key, because once you start talking, you can process and you become aware and you can gain perspective, and then you can start to learn all about what's up. And I believe that. And something, you know, something small can grow to something very big very quick. And in children, it's you know, just talk to your children. Talk to them, be there for them, and don't be a 5-second parent. You know, you're there for a week and then everything falls apart because the distractions of the world. Never forget how important the children are, and the impressions that we have on them, and the communication that needs to be had. Because if your kid's got a phone or an iPad or shit these days, man, I just, it kills me to think about that, because it's heavy. It's a heavy distraction, and it's like a babysitter, or it's like a constant distraction because you can just give it. I was guilty of it too. I gave it to my little guy. He liked YouTube. I didn't really monitor it. I wasn't really in my right frame of self, but I'm certainly guilty of it myself. I can admit that. And I don't want that. I don't want anyone bringing up raising baby drug addicts or mental health or emotional health kids. You know, could grow to a convict. I don't know. I don't want that, though. I think that these are the conversations we need to have, you know? But foremost, I just basically wanted you to see what one looks like. And if you think that there's no light at the end of the tunnel, maybe I'm proof that there can be. And I mean that. Like, a lot of people told me my whole life I'd never be nothing. That's cool. I don't give a shit about that. But certainly, I know who I be. And I know I'm strong. And I can be strong for others as well. So if you got something going on in your life, you got no one to talk to, message me. I try to be present as much as I can. Sometimes I'm just so busy. just trying to grow other things. I got my hands on so many things. I do get to it at some point. Absolutely. Share this if you can. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, and please subscribe. I'm all about self-care, self-love, meditation, yoga, good things for good people, for people, not for good people, for people, just for people. Good things to help people be good to themselves, because judgment these days is just a horrible thing. It's just very, very much taught, and I want us to unlearn that. I really do, and hopefully by coming together and building a community, we can unlearn that together. I just really truly believe in good things, and I know what it's like to live with authenticity, honesty, and love, and I'm trying to do that. And I'm not shy about it. I don't care. I don't. Not these days. I think that there's just too much going on in the world. We can build something great. We can be great again, I appreciate anybody who's watched this. I appreciate your time. Nothing but love. Seriously. It means a lot to me. Anyone who's supported me, anyone who's liked my videos, commented, shared them. I mean, it means the world to me, seriously. Because I care about the world. I don't care about materialistic shit. I just don't. I do have started a company only to help people. Give all the money away. I don't even care. I want to travel the world in 2 years because I feel like the only way to change the world is to experience it. And I'm going to change the world. I really am. But I got to experience it. So I understand that it's taken a long way to get to this point in reality where we are trapped in this rat cage of money and judgment and division. But you don't have to be. It's a choice. So it's going to be my choice to try and use the tools I have and grow from it and do the best I can. So if you follow me, wonderful. I really appreciate it. If you subscribe and tell your friends, whatever it is, I don't know if you're into this level of thinking or, you're thinking of a new idea, I'm just all about it. Kids are my world. I think the children are the future. And I think that's how we can work with the planet and keep this thing blue and clean. And we can breathe together. Build something great and have purpose again. If you're building parts in a factory, I appreciate you so much, but shit, I think that's a way of life. I mean, it's just wild, what money has done to us, and it doesn't have to. So hopefully we can grow from it. I appreciate you. Love you. Ciao. Cheers. Thank you.